Hi there. I was just reading the latest issue of Guns, Lawnmowers, and Baconators. Anyway, before I go into what I'm going to be talking about today, I want to say this video is in no way an attempt to pander. It's a celebration of strong women in film. And in 2017, it's almost a shame that you have to say that. Joss Whedon said it best. Young man at a Comic-Con, I think this is like 4 or 5 years ago, raised his hand. Joss Whedon was being interviewed on a panel. And he said, "Why do you write such powerful female characters in your scripts?" And Joss Whedon just put his hand on his head and he said, "Because you're still asking me that question." Badass women have been in movies for a long time, and why people are still surprised and why some men get offended by strong women in film, it bothers me. I mean, we've had Ripley in the Alien films. My first experience with strong women in film that I remember, because, you know, I don't like to talk about movies I saw when I was a little kid because I had unclear thoughts. When I started remembering everything I was watching, when the first time I saw Terminator 2 and I saw Linda Hamilton doing those pull-ups in the mental institution, I was like, oh my god. And that's when I kind of developed an attraction for like women like Jillian Michaels and Linda Hamilton, the fit, you know, powerful, I will beat your ass kind of women. I'm sorry, I mean, like a woman like Ronda Rousey, I'm sure there are some women that may take offense to this, and I don't mean anything by it, but there is something incredibly hot about a woman that could just beat the living shit out of you. I mean, so I know some guys would be intimidated by that. Me, I'm like, yeah. So, I saw a movie this week, finally. It was, I don't know why it took me so long to get around to seeing it, but it was the last film this year that was nominated for Best Picture that I got around to seeing. I did finally see Lion. I'm not going to do a review of Lion. I didn't think Lion was all that great. And honestly, I didn't think Manchester by the Sea was all that great. But I finally got around to, and just so happened right before Mother's Day, I got to see Hidden Figures. This movie got a lot of attention from the Academy. It has Taraji P. Henson, Octavia Spencer, and I'm sorry, the other young lady, Janelle Monáe, is in this movie. And why she isn't featured on the marquee with the other two, I don't know, because I think she's just as good in this movie. I hate to say it, I think this was a better movie than Moonlight. Now that I've had a couple days to process it, I really, really liked Hidden Figures. Now, when you watch a movie like Hidden Figures and the trailers make it look like it's going to be a pandering movie, the trailers made it look like, oh, we're just going to play up to stereotypes, kind of like the trailers for Moonlight did. Once again, that wasn't the case at all. This movie was fantastic. And sometimes these movies that are about, you know, the struggles of African Americans during a time when by that time they shouldn't have still been struggling, even though they kind of still are today, but at a time when they shouldn't have been and they still were heavily, sometimes those movies can kind of paint white people in general as the devil. Sometimes they do. I'm not saying they all, most don't. Sometimes they do. This one totally does not. It does not pander to anybody. It does not insult anybody's intelligence. It doesn't make anybody feel stupid. This movie is fantastic. But the one thing it shows is that these are all NASA people. Smarter people change first. It's always the people that don't like to use their brains that seem to want to be the last ones to change. I mean, everybody knows a super racist, and they're generally not very intelligent people. I'm sorry, if you're a super racist and you're watching this, fuck you. I loved Hidden Figures. I think it probably should have got a lot more attention at the Academy Awards. Beautifully directed, wonderfully shot, beautifully acted. Everything about the movie was just amazing. And looking up and seeing how all these things happened, the movie was like 80% accurate. Like the part where Kevin Costner's character, when finally Taraji Henson goes off, like, I have to walk 40 goddamn minutes to the bathroom because there ain't no colored restrooms in this building, and I have nowhere to go to the bathroom. And like the next scene, he's got that bat, and he's beating the shit out of the sign, and he's like, no more of this. And to find out that's actually how that happened, that guy actually took the bat and knocked down the sign. And it's great that a company like NASA was one of the first ones to just screw this. We're not segregating the bathrooms anymore. It's one of those movies that makes you feel great at the end. I mean, one of the women of the three is still alive. The other two lived long, healthy lives. They had long, good careers. There are NASA centers named after them. I cannot recommend Hidden Figures enough. I still think Hell or High Water should have won Best Picture, but honestly, I think that was, of the movies nominated, it was my second favorite of the year. I actually liked it better than La La Land. So, there's really not much else to say about Hidden Figures. I just go see it. I mean, it is a really good movie. It's a little long, but I can't think of anything I would have taken away from it because everything served a purpose in that movie. I mean, everybody has seen that movie that's 3.5 hours long. You're like, this movie does not need to be 3.5 hours long. That one needed to go a little over 2 hours. We needed the full scope of this. I mean, and to show us that not all these women are the same. And to show that not everybody changed the same way. Like Jim Parsons' character was a complete jerk to these women at first. And I don't want to spoil it, but there's a really touching moment at the end with his character when he finally is like, you know what? They're just, these women are, they deserve to be here. Especially Taraji Henson's character. I don't know a lot about her. I honestly don't watch the show Empire, and it's not anything against the show. There's too much other stuff on at the same time as Empire that I watch. So, sorry. So, okay, I'm just going to throw in a couple other things. Like I said, female empowerment in films. Like, I'm not trying to pander to anybody. I really am not. I just like to, you know, why in modern time you have these meninists, and that's still a thing. There are still men that get offended when strong women are put into films. We have, here's a good example, the Avengers movies. The fans of the Avengers movies are wanting that Black Widow film. I don't care if you like Scarlett Johansson or not. She's amazing as the Black Widow. She will kill you. She'll kill you faster than Captain America will. You know, she'll kill you faster than Iron Man will. I mean, she does not give a shit. She is a trained killer, and she's amazing in this movie, or in all the Marvel films. And the fans are demanding a Black Widow film. I mean, if you see it online, I mean, there are petitions like, give Black Widow her own movie. We want to see it. And the studio's like, well, we don't think that there would be enough. We don't think the film would do well. Are you kidding? People love the Black Widow. So in this day and age, like I said, the fact that people still complain, we have Moana here. A heavy female empowerment movie about a young girl who's just like, I have to save my village. I love Moana. Oddly enough, my daughter, who most of you know has autism, she absolutely loved Moana. When the chicken came out, she was just sitting there laughing and laughing, and it made me feel so good. Mama, that's a great movie. And then there's, Throw Mama from the Train. Maybe that isn't a very good movie to talk about on Mother's Day. So, yeah, that's about it for me. I have one other thing I'm going to talk about, and it's what the next movie I'm going to be reviewing, because the ultimate badass biatch in a movie, the ultimate woman of empowerment, is finally after 70-something years, 80, I don't know, 75-plus years, finally getting a theatrical film. And that is Wonder Woman. That comes up in a couple weeks, so in the next week or two, I'm going to review the Wonder Woman animated film. And one of the reasons I want to review this is one of the most fucking violent cartoons I've ever seen. The opening of this movie is a war. And it's just amazing. It's probably one of the best DC Universe films ever made. And Rosario Dawson, who I think could even in her, she's in her late 30s or whatever. Gal Gadot is going to be an amazing Wonder Woman, but I think Rosario Dawson, who does the voice of Wonder Woman in a lot of these, I think she could play Wonder Woman. But that's just me. All right, well, that's all I'm going to talk about this week. Next week, I'll be back with another Saturday Morning Cheap Seats, and we will be seeing Alien, whatever the hell it's called. It's the next Alien movie. I can't remember what it's called. We're seeing aliens. See you then.